Now, here's another thing to think about too, because right now a lot of these houses are still being sold for cash. Right? A lot of properties are being bought cash, which is investors and institutional buyers. But homeowners still have, homeowners are putting in their offers. They have a lot of money to put down as their down payments too. They're not using FHA loans yet because there's still a lot of money in the system. I was listening to another guy who was talking last week, and he was saying, okay, we're going to start seeing, and he wasn't talking about housing, he was talking about deflation, because right now we're seeing inflation. And so he was talking about, he was figuring by the end of this, by Q2 or Q3 of this year, they're going to start seeing deflation. This is because of, the supply chains are starting to get caught back up and all these other economic factors. And so he came out last week and he says, okay, we're not seeing it. And so I started digging in to try to find out why. Why was I so off? And what he didn't factor into his initial calculations or his initial valuations was the fact that people still have 75% more cash on hand now than they did pre-COVID. And so he showed a really, really interesting chart. He said pre-COVID, average savings and checking account balances, this is from the Mortgage Bankers, or the Bankers Association. COVID, it went sky high and it's come back down, but it's still 75% more than when we started COVID at. So they haven't spent down their savings yet. Now, why is there that savings? Well, one, they got a lot of money from COVID, because of COVID. They also cut back on their expenses because they didn't have the transportation costs, because people were starting to work at home now, so they were able to save on transportation. They were able to save on all kinds of other things. All kinds of different reasons why they have more money now, but they still have money. So people are not broke yet. They haven't cut back on their actual spending. So he was just talking about the economy in general. I'm like, well, that makes a lot of sense, because we're still hearing that these offers are coming in with if the appraisal doesn't come in at what they want, they'll cover the gap.
Yeah, the appraisal gap.
The appraisal gap. Their offers are still coming in with that because they still have the money to do that. They're coming in with larger down payments to get conventional loans. And the investors are still coming in with cash for their deals. So there's still a lot of money out in the system. Now, I am hearing in some of the markets where things have really changed, but those are also the markets where they were already starting to see a big change pre-COVID, and now it's just gotten worse, where we weren't even seeing that pre-COVID. We were seeing some signs, but nothing drastic before COVID hit. So who knows what's going to happen? But I was just on a call yesterday with an investor down in Texas, and we're talking about Mayo formulas, and I'm like, he says, are you guys still at the 70% or have you dropped down yet? I'm like, God, no, I'm still at 75 and I can't even compete because everyone else is at 80. And he's like, really? He says, we're down to 55 and 65. He says, and our offers are getting accepted because there's no buyers left in our market anymore.
Where in Texas?
He was in the San Antonio area, I want to say. But I think I don't think he works in San Antonio. I think he works all the rural communities, if you know Texas. It's got a lot of small towns. A lot of 20, 30, 40,000 population towns all over the place. I got a feeling from when I was talking to him, looking at somebody as those are the types of properties. But he might be in San Antonio. But they're down to those numbers right now.